All right, guys, we are back for game number 2. We are going to Dragonshire. Now, it looks like we're going to see Stukov banned out once again, the Tracer and the Malfurion. We're having once again the battle of the support bans here, and this time around they don't have first pick. So they can pick up the Deckard or they can ban out the Deckard. And the Urel will be the ban instead, leaving the opportunity to pick up Deckard Cain immediately for 104, which I'd kind of like to see, honestly, as he is a very strong support. Now, you obviously give up a lot of other things to your opponent when you're first pick, and I think there's a lot of strong choices overall in the current meta. Obviously, Urel's been taken out. You can pick up Raynor. You can pick up Leo. You can pick up Johanna and Raynor. You can pick up Phoenix Raynor and call it a day with the slows to go back it up. And this time they're going to pick up the Genji. They're going to show that you're going to love the slice and dice action on this new US made model of Genji. So they've already picked up a support. At this point, they want to pick up a tank and a ranged DPS. And because they don't want to be choked out of tanks. And optimally picking up your solo laner wouldn't be too shabby as well. So they're once again going for that Jaina and going with a Diablo. I do like the fact they picked up their main tank, as it can't be tank choked now. And the Phoenix ban is interesting. It's definitely a solid ban, and I definitely like it if you're not going to pick it up for yourself. But I think they could have picked up said Phoenix next go around themselves instead of banning it out. If they didn't want to play him, well, of course it makes sense to ban him. So at this point, we have a Blaze banned out now, but we know from Heroes of the US they love to play Leo. We've seen 3 games in a row with Leoric, which means that this will be probably another Leo game, I'm assuming. But they banned out the Blaze, which I'm not sure they would have actually picked anyways. So we're going to see the Rhaegar and the Li Ming here alongside of the Genji. So we're going for Reset City. This might be a little hard because of how tanky Diablo gets and how big his body is and being able to block the orbs. If they're able to get those orbs to connect onto the backline, then they're going to have a good time. If not, I think Diablo is going to wallbang Genji out of his mind. And the final 2 picks are going to be Sonya and Greymane. Now, this is actually a game where I can see Greymane working. We're instead going to get a Malthael here. I'm not sure how I feel about the Malthael. I feel Malthael is overall a weak hero in that he has mediocre team fight where he doesn't output enough damage. Last Strikes really just secures the kills. And technically, Deckard doesn't have a tool to save someone in the traditional sense. He doesn't have Ancestral. He only has disengage tools or engage tools. So the thing is, outside of the Malthael, the comp looks pretty good on both teams this time around. Like, I don't feel either team has outdrafted the other team. The Jaina and Greymane, great wave clear. They're going to be able to camp real easily, get those mercs. Now, the other side, the Rhaegar and can definitely get it with Malthael, although Malthael will be in the solo lane, so someone's going to have to hold it in the meantime while he gets mercs. although Li Ming or even Genji can come on in to support and pick up the Merc camps as well. So we're going to jump into game number 2. Got Waterboy on that Malthael. We got Watson once again on Johanna. 4 games in a row, baby. Andrew on the Li Ming. And finally, we got Jub and Rhaegar and Blaze on the Genji. And that is going to be Heroes of the United States. On the other side, we got Key 104, Key 1108 on the Deckard Cain, a Sheep Fu on the Sonya, Danup on the Grey Name, a Linkin Park on the Diablo, and finally we're going to have a Leo Rice once again on that Jaina. So footsie fight is going to be very held out as Sheep Fu is just rotating on top to get things started. So taking a quick look here, we have the Sapphire, we have Fingers of Frost, the Viciousness, Devil's Due, and Warpaint. Additionally, we have Swift as Wind, Colossal Totem, Power Hungry, Laws of Hope, and On a Pale Horse. So Malthael will be able to out-rotate and be a sort of like a semi-global, if you will. So looking at the poll, we got Heroes of the US with 3 votes, and they will take it in terms of who thinks it's gonna go to. So Watson getting knocked around, shoved around, banked up a little bit, but not too big of a deal. We got siege camps ready to go. Danup on it literally the second they spawned, and with that they have a Leo who can clear up mid, just waiting for the Genji to walk away. Actually, yeah, okay. They're clearing it up, fine and dandy. They don't need to use a Blizzard. But however, Watson coming on in with Andrew and Jub. Blaze coming on in now too. Linkin Park very, very far forward. However, does have the angle get Watson to wall bang. And they're still trying to clear this instead of getting on the point. And the Siege Giants stolen away by Heroes of the US. That looked too easy in my opinion. Now, top lane, Sheep Fu is losing right now in that 1v1 against Waterboy. He does have the autos to heal up in the meantime, but DK is potentially possible as well. And Leo has, well, he has very little mana to really fight here. And Watson coming in for the potential flank. The Swift Strike will miss. However, it's not going to matter as Jaina creates her own icy grave as she dug it by sticking her head a little too far forward. In the bot lane rotation now, we got Watson, Jub, Andrew, and Blaze are ready to go, but they're actually going to pick up the siege camp first to start getting the additional pressure in the bot lane. They don't need to pick up the DK immediately, so I kind of like this. And right now, Sheep Fu is definitely getting slightly bodied here by Waterboy. So taking a look at what we have here, we do have the Die Alone. We do have Danup coming on in the engage. Raimi not going in and working for him. Way too late. They would have actually had the kill there. Now, they definitely would have had the kill there if he had actually engaged almost immediately, instead of kind of just walking at Waterboy's face. In the meantime, we got Blaze up here, rotated on up. Bot lane being held down for now. Not too much value out of those Siege Giants. Mid needs to be cleared up, however, as they're about to lose that gate. So, top being flipped around, and top getting a kill onto Greymane. That's what you like to see if you're Heroes of the US and you want to get a DK. Not what you like to see if you're 104 and don't want them to get the DK. Level 7 coming on up quite soon, and with that they'll be able to get significantly more pressure as they actually have almost a full level lead at this point. And then the top lane, Blaze is actually going to take down Sheep Fu. That 1v1, ninjas are a little more dangerous than barbarians. Camps now being picked up, and as I was saying, Jub and Waterboy could do them, even Blaze, but Blaze was holding on the fort. It's now once again a 2v1. Blaze will be able to get on out, but Danup will have to ring around the rosy here if he hopes to survive. And with Blaze there, he's going to be able to walk away. Well, actually, he walks away, but Watson is in tow, ready to go. They could push this as a 3-man crew. Instead, they're going to look for the potential DK play by rotating back bottom. The nice stun from Lincoln, but the Blizzard does connect twice onto Li Ming, and they get themselves a beautiful kill. Nice execution there. So at this point, Dragonshire's turned into Gankshire as we get 1 kill apiece and people just rotating around trying to get that DK as much as they can. Bottom camp is available. Blaze will be coming on. Linkin Park coming on to Blaze. He will overpower him out of the Blizzard though. Not the play you want to see, but Blaze should be able to Eon out at any time anyways, to be fair. So point still being held with that Decker Cane. They do have the edge in my opinion. Blaze looking to get onto the Jaina. It's perfectly lined up to slice through him, but if Blaze takes so much as a cone of call to the face, he's going to be dropped significantly. But Leo has no mana to speak of and will have to tap here. Now in the mid lane, we will have Blaze coming on in to interrupt that channel. No connection with a Swift Strike, but nonetheless, he'll be good to go and poking that down as long as possible. In the meantime, however, Watson is stuck in a rock and a hard place, or a Diablo place, does get that Iron Skin out in time, and we'll call it a day. Top is being held by Shifu as long as possible. Waterboy not actually going to go for the kill, instead going to opt to get this neutralized. So they're scaling a little bit more here on the side of 104. The thing is, they're going to not have 10s, and 10s are about to come up very shortly. With Decker Cane and Leo Rice down there as the Jaina, they'll be able to start on the Bruiser camp. But Watson knows what's up. It's taking some lessons from Sherlock. They're coming on in hot with the Blessed Shield, but the team is not there. Blaze is coming on across. There they go. Dragon Blade coming on out, but the the actual heal from Linkin Park is perfect, on point, and ready to keep Blaze from getting anyone chopped up into little tiny pieces. However, they will have to give up that Bruiser camp, which is now going to mean potentially the DK once again as the pressure starts mounting. Linkin Park in no man's land as no one is with him to really speak up. So DK ready to go, Waterboy already in position, and the first DK of the game has just been picked up. Now, they're opting for the bottom lane. Bottom lane is usually the best lane to push. And that's largely because of the fact that you get double siege and knights, and it's a very wide open area to fight in, which is what you want, especially against a Diablo's Fire Breath or Lightning Breath. And there they go. The Lightning Breath not really doing anything of value there, as Waterboy just walks right behind it and just continues slapping the snot out of this fort. So they're not going to get much more out of this DK other than the fort, but it's going to help keep this lane pushed in, making it that much easier to defend. A lot of times you'll see people walking into mid and just chopping on some towers, but really the bot lane is even more important because it's one of the places to get the shrine, and the top is also the altars, and both of these are really important for your macro play. And bottom ends games. Top does not end games. Mid generally doesn't end games either. So at this point, we have both teams going over to their siege camps. They'll pick it up roughly around the same time. Linkin Park doing a nice job of keeping vision. There are some spots there ready for him to go, which I really like. Well played from a key over there to set that up in case he does get in a sticky situation. In the meantime, top is getting cleared up by Leo and Danup to get the Merc, and they'll start getting some counter pressure on the top lane. However, Shifu is going to be going down, and that 3-man push in Shifu way far forward. Very nicely executed once again. 104 not really on point on their comms if they're getting caught out like this. If you're seeing Knights picked up, well, it's two things: comms and map awareness, knowing where they are, not seeing where they are, and then obviously still staying in a place that allows you to be ganked. So at this point, we got Deckard Cain all alone trying to defend against Siege Giants. Top lane getting heavily pushed on, and there comes Blaze looking to slice and dice, but he's going to be getting out of there real fast as he does not want any of Sheep Fu all over him. So rotating back on up, but they are trying to defend 5v4 like this. Sonya is a little far forward. Shifu has got him. The slice is not going to connect with the swift strike, and nothing else will either. So Shifu will walk away from this one fine and dandy. In the meantime, he has been trying to slap the snot out of those youngsters, telling them to get off his lawn, and he's managed to keep them from really doing any damage to his perfectly manicured lawn.
The dragon shall rest no longer. Unleash its power.
So Lincoln Park getting in position right now. We got Leo Rice sitting in the bush. He does need to be very careful from the flank of Blaze, but Blaze has to be very careful for Lincoln Park. However, if he can engage on such an angle where a wallbang does not occur, that's when you want to take it. So Leo is actually setting up Lincoln Park a little bit, and that if Blaze dives in, as long as he's in here, he basically gets a wallbang. So top is pushed in. Top has it already capped, and so now they need to respond on how they want to deal with this situation. They either continue soaking or they fight S5. They don't have the Curse Bullet. They do have Gorp for the Throat and Ring of Frost, along with the Lure NATO. Stay a while and listen. At this point, well, it's really just a back and forth fight. They're not getting top because they have no one up there. The charge going to connect, but Iron Skin comes on out, so not a lot of value. Blaze looking for his opportunity to come on in, and we do have Water Boy here as well. They're looking for that 5v4, and Shifu is going to be coming in late. They have nowhere to retreat to, so Lincoln Park is going a little too far forward, in my opinion. Basically, you have to play a lot more defensively because you have no well available. Shifu is actually just rotating back on up, and they will have to defend to prevent the DK pickup here. It's a 15 versus 14 situation, which is not bad. But we have a wild Greymane being picked up in the meantime here, which is going to mean the DK, because this is going to be hard to defend 5v4. I'm not sure why Greymane was down there. We saw the rotation as the team left, and you saw where 5 members were previously from Heroes of the United States. That is insanely greedy to stay that far forward and get picked up like that. He should basically be sitting back over here or rotating with his team. Yes, you want XP, but you cannot be far forward because, well, look at all this distance you have to cover to get back to your walls. 16 is about to come online for Heroes of the United States, which means that they have to play even safer now. 104 has to get a gank, and this is actually their opportunity to get someone. It's a 5v4 right now. Lightning Breath coming on out. Deflect will be used and protected, by the way. No one takes really any damage, and Lightning Breath is down along with Wrath of the Berserker, going to be temporarily up for a few short more seconds. So 5v4, they do have a Water Boy on top. They will reclaim this as a 5-man, which is actually allowing them to slowly march their way back into getting 16. So this might not be the optimal situation for 104, but it's perhaps... Oh, beautiful Swift Strike coming on in from Blaze, but Lincoln Park trying to peel a few seconds too late to try and peel as he gets annihilated into Stale While and Listen, going to be interrupted by the Wave of Force, slicing and dicing. Blaze coming on in. That is the old man being put down and his life support removed. Danup will be the last man standing for now, and he will get on out. Let's look at that bad boy again. So you can see Blaze coming on in hot, getting the kill, basically 100-0 on his own. And then Lincoln Park, well, when you have nowhere to retreat to and you already lost your DPS, you're pretty much not going to get anything of value there. So they do not manage to actually pick up the DK in the meantime. DK playing Ring Around the Rosie, and this is the best thing they can hope for. Oh, Blaze going 1v1 with Lincoln Park, but no charge, no stun. Blaze has no real escape other than his D, and Leo looking to drop some damage, but missing all of his Qs. Not going to look good there, as that was one of their opportunities to do significant damage and try to claw their way back into this game, as they are so far down in terms of structures and being able to macro on this map properly. Now, Unstoppable coming on up real early for Waterboy. Shifu coming on to Blaze, but last rights, that's all she wrote. Diablo is going to be stuffed back into a stone, and we got Shifu looking for it. The Wave of Force coming on in. The Blaze and Andrew coming on in hot, going to take down Shifu, and that's now once again a 2-for-0. So here's the United States just are executing their drafts significantly better. There's no peel on the back line, and because there's no peel on the back line, they're basically running the train on the members of 104. Blaze goes on in, you have Waterboy who's executing the front line, you have Li Ming who's popping on off after one person dies, and then you have Watson to go and peel him and lock him down with the Blessed Shield. This positioning is very nice. They're waiting for the DK, and in case anyone makes a crazy rotation, Blessed Shield coming on out, and he will interrupt the Shadow Charge with it. Beautiful. And Watson making the plays there. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get Leo or Linkin Park. But at this point, this is a very, very healthy DK. They are not so healthy. So DK is going to smack the snot out of this keep. And first keep of the game will be going down, and they will have the 20 advantage very shortly here. And this is potentially game ending here. 20 versus 17. They do have Stale While and Listen. They need to look for some big play, I think, if they want to win the game. However, Dragon Knight can interrupt the Stale While and Listen, and this is still a very scary situation in terms of, like, you want to make a big play to claw your way back into the game, but if you lose said team fight, it's over. And, well, it's still a lot to try and claw your way back from. We're talking about literally 3 levels to try and get back from this game. Front wall down now, keep down, and this is going to be ever mounting pressure. They should actually go and fight for the Bruiser camp, and they should go and take their Bruiser camp, then rotate down, take the Siege, and take their Bruiser camp. The reason for that is take their Bruiser camp to force the 20 versus 17. If they're not going to go and fight 2017, you just take it from them so they get no value out of their Merc camp. Then you take yours because then you get double push and they're stuck up there. Then you take the Siege and then you take the Bruisers because that's exactly what you see them doing now. They're building up a huge wave with catapults coming in tow and 20 advantage. This is enough to close out the game right here. Now, this is definitely do or die. I mean, you have to make some huge plays. This is like twice as huge. Blessed Shield coming on out, Sail Ball, and Listen will lock down 4 members. Baki is going to be going down. The Ring of Frost will connect onto one target. Go for the throw being used. They chop them up, but Spin to Win coming on through. Linkin Park will be going down, but it doesn't matter. Reset City happens, and we call that being a Ming lead. And Heroes of the Storm will take this game 2-0. All right, we're gonna see that replay once again. I mean, that was absolutely beautiful. We have Waterboy coming on in, whiffing heavily, doesn't have the Condemn ready, but we have the damage still coming out. Only one person rooted in place. Go for the throat from the Greymane will help secure a kill onto the Rhaegar, but it doesn't matter. Slicing and dicing, Reset City galore. They just chop them up into fine, minced garlic pieces to put on their food. Now, that was exceptionally done in that last team fight. Of course, to be fair, it was 20 versus 18, and not a lot you can do. We got 57k and 42k, Li Ming and Genji. So they definitely got those angles that I was talking about, and it didn't even matter if they got those angles, because then once one person died, they can just reset and get all the damage. Next up on the list, we have Danup on that Greymane. 12,000 damage less than Genji. 27,000 damage less than Li Ming. Jaina? Well, Jaina didn't exist this game. 24,000. That is essentially nothing. between the two, I mean, Jaina got bodied in DPS by Lincoln Park. Watson did more than Jaina, and Sonya barely a scratch that game. Well, if you want to talk about barely a scratch, Decker Kane might as well have been AFK on the autos because that's pretty much just like some auto damage here and there, not getting really any damage whatsoever. But for healing output, Key did a great job. 37k. We didn't see big stay a while and listens. We saw not many team fights break out, in part due to all the ganks that were successfully done by Heroes of the United States. But he tried his best, healed as best as he could, and well, we'll call that a day in terms of his performance. Now, Diablo Lincoln Park was a little too far forward at times, but he tried his best for healing. I'll give Lincoln Park credit where it's due on that. However, the comp didn't really allow them to deal with the Genji very well, especially when they had to spear him and wallbang him to successfully stop him. And we really didn't see that happen, unfortunately, which allowed Blaze on that Genji to tear on through their their health pools and then help Li Ming get the resets. So I don't know which game felt worse. This game for 104 or the first game. I feel like this one was probably worse because of how often they were dying in ganks. In comparison to Tomb of the Spider Queen, they were being out macro, they lost team fights, but they weren't really being ganked to the same degree. And Heroes of the United States definitely showing that they're a strong team on macro in Division B, and that 104 is going to have to step up communication and map awareness to prevent such a situation of being ganked so heavily from happening. It's also possible that they were heavily tilted after the first game of just how in favor it was for Heroes of the United States. But sit on tight. We are going to get another interview with Blaze and Watson and see, well, maybe Watson too, but we'll see if they want to do a second interview this evening and get their thoughts on how things went down.